Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly K. This is Grizzly True Crime, and today we're going to be discussing the case of Suzanne Morphew. After 1,236 days, her remains were located about 50 miles south from her home in Colorado, and that is massive news. Now, I've never actually spoken to you guys about Suzanne's case, but I followed along. I only joined YouTube, of course, in June of 2021, so I've been following along and I've read through the previous probable cause affidavit. Remember that huge document? Oh my word, there's a lot of information in there. So if you know everything about the case, then this is a great update either way, that at least they found her remains. But of course, it's devastating. Absolutely devastating. Her family is devastated because they were hoping maybe she will come walking through the door one day. You know, maybe she isn't gone. So just remember that. Please keep family and friends in mind, because it's a very sad day. I see, of course, a lot of, celebration type vibes on social media and everywhere. And I understand that it's like, oh my word, at least, because everyone was worried that her remains would never be found. But, oh man, what a sad day as well. And there's going to be so much more to this investigation. It's also a very delicate case because, of course, her husband had been arrested previously, held without bail. Then it was changed to a $500,000 cash bond. Then he was released. So we're going to go through all of that, but it's a very delicate case. If it's going to go to trial again, who's responsible? How did she die? What happened? And how did she end up where they found her remains? Julie, thank you so much. You said Fury Treats. Thank you so much. I hope I didn't miss anyone else's in the beginning. Welcome to all my moderators. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Welcome to all my patrons and all my Grizzly True Crime members, all the OGs, original Grizzlies, meaning you are already subscribed. And then, of course, to all the new subscribers as well. All right. So consider this our first conversation about Suzanne's case, because I think it's going to be one of many. And I'm just going to present the facts as they are that we know so far. And that's it. We got to see what happens next, right? There's many possibilities. Kerry says, so sad, but such a relief that Suzanne's remains have been found. I hope for justice. Time is running out for a particular someone, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, there's a red flag galaxy there. I get it. And I really am trying to look at any other possibilities. So we shall have a look. Okay, let me get the presentation that I've made for you. So hold on one second. Okay. Let's look at this. Thank you for your patience. Sorry, I was a few minutes late there. I was busy finishing up the intro that I made for you guys. Okay, so after 1,236 days, Suzanne Morphew's remains were located in Moffett, Colorado. And also, if you guys didn't know, here's a little news clipping that said, in addition, they are asking the community to display yellow or turquoise ribbons to honor Morphew. So this was shared a while ago already. That's what the community's been sharing in honor of Suzanne Morphew. You can like and share this episode with hashtag justice for Suzanne Morphew. And you can also in chat use yellow and turquoise hearts or ribbons. That combination would be really great. Carrie Gatto, you said, I so love being a Grizzly. Thank you so much. And thanks for supporting the channel for 7 months. Happy Grizzly-versary to you. Okay, so let's continue on with this news and everything. We're gonna be looking at an overview of the case. That's what this is today. Of course, the breaking news is that Suzanne Morphew's remains were found. Let me show you this quickly. Hold on one second. They've got a Facebook post here from Chaffee County Sheriff's Office, so I'll show you that quickly before we dive into the overview there for you. So they said this, and it's important to note because what on earth is going to happen next? Well, a huge investigation. They're going to have to perform a full autopsy, and of course it's many days later, since she disappeared. So they're going to have to work very hard to find out, of course, what happened to Suzanne Morphew. So there'll be that and the investigation, and of course looking over everything they already had, adding to it, figuring this out. So I think it's going to be a while until we actually hear something, but let's see. We'll keep our eyes open. So thank you so much, Jakey5 and everyone, for sharing yellow hearts for Suzanne and for her family and friends. So Chaffee County Sheriff's Office said news release: remains positively identified as Suzanne Morphew. September 27, 2023, CBI, Lakewood, Colorado. Agents with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, CBI, located human remains during the course of a search on September 22nd, 2023. Those remains were positively identified as Suzanne Morphew, 49, of Chaffee County by the El Paso County coroner on September 27th of 2023. So they'd already discovered the remains on September 22nd, and finally now we're able to positively identify those remains as Suzanne Morphew, which is like shocking news. Oh my goodness. Charisma, justice for Suzanne. Yes, and happy Grizzly-versary to you. All right, so Morphew was reported missing from her home in Chaffee County on May 10th, 2020. Investigators were searching in the area of Moffat in Saguache County on an investigation not related to the Morphew disappearance. Isn't that interesting? Oh my goodness. That's got my thoughts going. I'm like, so they were searching this area on an investigation not related to the Morphew disappearance when the remains were discovered. And I believe they say in a shallow grave. There is some footage being shared, that people are showing, saying, oh my word, could it be this house? And as I told you guys on Patreon, I even drove the little Google man around trying to see, well, where would that be? But that footage is from the beginning stages of the investigation when Suzanne first went missing. There were initial searches, like huge searches, right? And they did actually search out in an area, which is where that footage is from. Okay, not this area. This one's a little further south, not too far from the home, but a little further south. So I just find it so interesting that they say investigators were searching the area on an investigation not related to the Morphew disappearance. That makes me think, what led them there? Would it be someone digging in their own yard and being like, oh my word, I think I found human remains. Can you come check it out? Is that the investigation? Or does something else lead them to wherever they have found those remains? Oh my goodness. Gregory Worth said, I find the wording human remains rather than skeletal remains. Yes. Patriot Lady says, I love all my fellow Grizzlies. And happy Grizzly-versary to you, Patriot Lady. Thank you for supporting the channel for 13 months. So they say specific information about the location and the state of the remains are being withheld at this time. No arrests have been made since the remains were located. Updates will be provided as information becomes available during this ongoing investigation. Family notifications have been made following the formal identification of Suzanne Morphew. While this case has garnered attention from around the world, it has touched our community and the Sheriff's Office deeply, said Chaffee County Sheriff John Spezit. We have never stopped our investigation and will continue to follow all leads in pursuit of justice for Suzanne. The remains were located in the 12th Judicial District, and District Attorney Ann Kelly has been notified. Yeah, see, Chinny, that's another option that you say they were searching for another person. But see, that's very scary then. Do you know what I mean? That opens up the potential for so many things. Okay. Rando from Iowa said, recharged, not retried. There was never a trial before or double jeopardy would apply. Yes. Recharged. Yes. Okay. So, let me just find my place here. So they said, note there will be no news conference or media interviews related to this development in this case. So there's that answer, because everyone's wondering, is there going to be a press conference? What's going to happen? They said no news conference or media interviews related to this development in this case, although locating Suzanne's remains is a critical component of this investigation, and for her family, we are left with many more questions than answers, and it would be a disservice to conduct a news conference at this time, said the sheriff. The public is asked to continue to report any information about this case by calling 719-312-7530. I'll put the numbers in the description box for you. All media inquiries should be directed to the CBI. I mean, remember they found other male DNA in her vehicle, and there was speculation then about that, and what if it could be a violent offender or a serial killer or something? I mean, we just don't know. We just don't know. I'm fully aware that everybody has been looking at the husband, and we're going to go over all the bullet points of the case, and it's I understand that it's hard not to, but imagine if it turns out to be somebody else, something else. Oh my goodness. So yes, okay. Nancy B. Wild said, I'm so glad you had an awesome trip in Iceland. We'd love to go to the hot springs. Thank you, Nancy. I don't know if I would describe it as awesome, but thank you. I hope you saw my Patreon video. If not, check it out. So, but thank you so much. Okay, so that's the update from the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office. Now we continue here with our... Okay, and Christina Laska saying 55-year-old missing lady named Edna. Just, like, I'm still trying to process that they were looking for someone else and then found Suzanne's remains. That I'm going to be very careful with everything I say, because we just don't know. But my mind goes many places with that. Okay. So, continuing on. Just give me 1 second here. Suzanne R. Morphew. Suzanne was born on May 2nd of 1971 in Indiana, USA. She was married to Barry Morphew and was a mother of 2 when she was last seen on Mother's Day of 2020, May 10th of 2020. She was actually last seen on May 9th, but her husband, Barry, said he last saw her on May 10th, that she was asleep when he left the house. Suzanne apparently set off from her home on a solo bike ride, possibly wearing a turquoise bicycle helmet. No further description of her and what she may have been wearing before she vanished was provided. So that's what they said on all the community, posts all over social media. Everyone was looking for her. They said maybe she went to ride her bike. And of course we know, well, if you don't know, if you're brand new, then welcome. We're taking it all from the top, so it's okay. If you've never heard of this case before, welcome. So they did eventually find her helmet and bike. There's so many very puzzling things about this case, right? Suzanne met Barry in high school in Indiana. She had competed for homecoming queen, and Barry was a star baseball player. I believe that he wanted to go on to be a pro, but there was an injury that prevented him from pursuing those dreams. They both attended Purdue University and got married in 1994. When I say Purdue University, is anyone else thinking of Delphi? Because I'm like, Delphi, Purdue University, where's that professor? Right? Sometimes all these cases, all the bullet points are stored in files in our mind, right? Okay. Thank you so much, Mary Green. Let me just read Mary Green's message out there. Remains were located in a remote field of sagebrush and grasses. Okay. I'm just trying to see. Suwatch. That's how I'm still trying to practice 20 million times. Suwatch County Coroner Tom Perrin told the Denver Gazette. Thank you, Mary. And thank you, Mary, for all your informative emails that you always send me. I really appreciate it. Okay. And so they got married in 1994, and then he became a landscaper. She was a teacher, and then she became a full-time mom. At the time of her disappearance, they'd been married for 25 years. Barry was a hunter, Suzanne loved the outdoors and mountain biking, and the family lived a beautiful life in a stunning home in Colorado. Of course, oftentimes that's said on documentaries and things, by all appearances. You know, I mean, they look like a really beautiful, happy family. Yes, indeed. So for her daughters to lose their mother like this and find out the shock of like, wait, what? She was found deceased? It's horrible. Yes, tea trees. Okay. So we continue on. Suzanne had purchased a spy pen. A spy pen sounds pretty cool. A spy pen to catch Barry. She thought that Barry was having an affair, so she got the spy pen to listen to conversations that maybe he had when she wasn't in the room. It was kept in their master bedroom, and apparently it would start recording. It was voice activated, right? And so she bought the spy pen to catch him having an affair. But it was later revealed from this very spy pen that she was having an affair with a man named Jeff Libler. He was a man from Michigan, and they had a one-time fling in high school, and they started chatting on Facebook in 2018 again. And Suzanne messaged him and said, "Howdy, stranger." So they started chatting. Yes, okay. Suzanne told friends that Barry was physically and emotionally abusive. And then she texted him on May 6th to say, "I'm done. I could care less what you're up to, and have been for years. We just need to figure this out civilly." So, of course, a lot of people, like social media speculation is very big in this case, of course, over all the years, right? And people are thinking, is that a motive, right? Okay. I shall look at this that I'm being sent now in a moment. Okay. Interesting. I'll show you that afterwards. So, we continue on here. Shame. Jeff really got put in the spotlight, huh? Jeff is a married man from Michigan with 6 children. Investigators took 6 months to find out who Suzanne was having an affair with, so they hit it really, really well, right? They just couldn't track this guy down. And when they located Jeff, he said that he'd actually deleted all of his social media accounts after Suzanne went missing, and because he didn't want to tarnish her memory, and he was worried that he would become a target or a suspect and that he would lose his family. Which, those were some pretty valid concerns, because of course it was like, so, all the attention turned to him of like, who's this guy? And why'd he keep quiet for 6 months? And why did he delete all his social media? And what's up with him? Right? Yes. Kerry, I agree. You say, Grizzly to Crime, the two aren't mutually exclusive. Her husband can be problematic, and yet it can be someone else responsible. Exactly. I agree with you. I've actually said that in a few cases. We're not going to mention them now because it will trigger all those conversations, right? Okay, and so he then gave police all his passwords to the deleted accounts and cooperated fully, which revealed that the pair had actually met up in many places since their conversation in 2018. Like they weren't just talking on the phone, they'd actually physically met up in places. Suzanne had gone on holiday and met up with him. They discussed someday getting married to each other, leaving the USA to start a new life together, like in Ecuador. Of course, that also fueled a lot of speculation. And the selfie that Suzanne sent to him is actually called her last proof of life photo, because that was on May 9th of 2010. So, yes, J9 Will says Jeff was cleared. I know. I'm aware. Thank you. Thank you so much. Jeff was cleared. If I'm not making that clear, I'm just basically pointing out that shame. The investigators dug out this, who is she having an affair with? Who is on the spy pen? And eventually they found him, and he's like, oh no, I was so worried, because it must have been giving him a huge fright, right? Sure. Okay. T-Tree says, gee, it can also work the other way, where there is an active serial killer and Barry still be an unaliver. Yes, it can work all the ways. We've got to keep an open mind, everyone. Yes, indeed. What happened on May 10th of 2020? So Barry says that on May 9th of 2020, they had a nice dinner together, they were intimate, and then they went to sleep. Okay, so note, we only have Barry's account of what actually happened, let me rephrase. We only have Barry's account of what happened on May 10th. From May 9th afternoon to May 10th, right? On that day, Suzanne had sent a selfie to Jeff. They'd sent 59 messages between each other that day. At 2:26 p.m., Barry said that he was heading home. When Suzanne didn't respond, he texted, did you leave? His phone went into airplane mode from 2:47 p.m. to 10:17 p.m., which of course that was a bit of a red flag. I mean, of course, people can just put their phone in airplane mode. But investigators looked at that, and of course, there's the 130-page probable cause affidavit, that I don't know if I'm not going to read through it all now, because now, of course, the case didn't go to trial, right? But there was this whole probable cause affidavit that the prosecutors drew up, and oh my word, the information in there and everything that they said, it was very interesting. Elaine, thank you so much. Really appreciated. So his phone went into airplane mode for quite some time there. And he said that he last saw her in bed asleep on May 10th of 2020, the next morning when he left for work. He drove to a job site in Broomfield, Colorado, 150 miles away. Their daughters were camping at the time and had texted their mom to wish her a happy Mother's Day. So I see a lot of people have speculated, why were they camping? Did he send them off camping at the time or not? I'm sure they were just camping at the time, right? Okay, so when they got no response, as in Suzanne's daughters, they told their dad, Barry, about it. They're like, wow, we wished her happy Mother's Day. We're not hearing from her. Have you heard from her? And they all started talking to each other, and they realized, we haven't heard from her. So Barry then got hold of a neighbor and asked them to check on her. The neighbor said that Suzanne's car was there, but she wasn't home. Barry then suggested that he check for her bike because she was a mountain biker. The neighbor then confirmed that, nope, they could not see her bicycle. So Barry then asked them to call the police to report her missing, which is also interesting. It's not like, oh my word, oh crap, she's not there, I'm going to call the police. He asked the neighbor to call the police, right? Barry then headed home, but he first made a few stops, including to drop off a shovel and some other tools for his co-workers at a hotel where he had booked rooms for them and himself. So between the prosecution and the defense, there's a lot of talk about the hotel room and that it smelled like bleach and chlorine, chemical smell. The defense was saying, well, it was situated right above a swimming pool. And of course, the prosecution saying it's weird that he booked this room and then he gave it to one of his co-workers when he left and that it smelled like chemicals. So just a lot of things. So much to just, I'm trying to just keep it to just layer one in this case. Here for the truth is, what's the deal with so many felonious cases? I don't know. I think if you zone into any area, one could find many cases, right? So yeah, the priority then was dropping off the shovel and some other tools for co-workers. Right. He started driving home at approximately 6 p.m. On the right-hand side, on the left-hand side is actually a picture of their home. That's what I've got going there. And on the right-hand side was from that probable cause affidavit or the arrest affidavit. And that would be a picture of Suzanne's bicycle from Bodycam, found not far from their home, but just chucked down, you know. The investigators said they feel it was staged. Okay, so police found Suzanne's bicycle and her helmet about a mile apart. There were no signs of a struggle or an accident. You know, none of her clothing was found there or anything to indicate that anything happened there. Her sunglasses and hydration pack were found inside her car, so police thought that perhaps the scene had been staged. Barry made a plea on May 17th, 2020 to Suzanne's potential kidnappers, because that's what he thought initially, is that someone took her, especially after they found the bike and the helmet. But later he told a YouTuber that he thought maybe mountain lions got her. I think, from what I'm understanding at the time, he didn't realize the YouTuber was filming him. But he was talking about, police saw there were like mountain lions here and we thought that a mountain lion got her. So he's always got lots of explanations for things, right? Or reasons or thoughts. So you could see the missing person flyer, and there are so many over the years. Of course, so many people made missing persons flyers. This was a huge missing persons case until it broke yesterday that her remains were found. So I'm just showing you some of the flyers. I actually wanted to show you many examples. There were so many that I found. But yes, then this became a worldwide, massive missing persons case. So Barry made a plea on May 17th to Suzanne's potential kidnappers, but he later told the YouTuber that he thought maybe mountain lions got her, right? So let me just show you that quickly, just so you could see it. Hold on one second. Sorry, it's a little big now. Just resize that for you. Okay, so in case you've never seen it, or if you just want to see it again, this is it. It's only 25 seconds long, but let's have a look here.
Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you. We miss you. Your girls need you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you. I want you back so bad.
Okay, so that was that. And so investigators believe that there was perhaps a struggle in the home when Barry got home, and that he potentially chased her with the tranquilizer gun and staged the scene with her bike and helmet and got rid of evidence, including her remains. So here's a picture of People's Exhibit, I think it's 80, where they show a crack on the doorframe to the master bedroom. Barry took he was actually the one to take a photograph of this doorframe, and he explained to the police that the previous owner said that it was already there before Barry and them even bought the house. He said he went to bed around 8 p.m. on May 9th of 2020, but his truck's forensic evidence, they looked at everything, said otherwise. For example, it was put in reverse and moved closer to the home around 9:30 p.m. So there's that. Okay. I'm just checking what you guys are saying. Shin Dog City says mountain lion, singular. They are solitary animals and extremely averse to humans. Okay. So, I mean, maybe the crack in the door, of course the defense would claim, well, the crack in the door could have been there, as Barry said, before they even bought the house. So, cell phone records showed Barry's phone pinging all around the outside of the home on May 9th of 2020. Remember, they've got the digital evidence from the car, and then also the phone was put in flight mode for some time, and then at some point it was pinging all around the outside of the house. They said when investigators asked him about this, he said that he was running around the property shooting chipmunks, claiming they were a constant nuisance in the area. Oh man, when I first heard that, I'm like, what? He said he was shooting chipmunks? That's the alibi. Shooting chipmunks. I mean, maybe he was. I don't know. He said they were a constant nuisance in the area. And then police also found, investigators, a plastic needle cap from a tranquilizer gun was found in the family dryer. Investigators believe that Barry may have been chasing Suzanne around the house with a tranquilizer gun. They did not, however, find a working tranquilizer gun at the house or tranquilizer chemicals. So you could see the defense also they could poke lots of holes in, which is also why this case never actually went to trial. It was dismissed. We're going to get to that. But there's a lot of holes to poke in this case. As many red flags as there are, right? Kelly's like, no, not the chipmunks. I know, right? And look at that cute one I put there for you guys. Yes. Jill says, animal unaliver. Yeah, he was a hunter of note. So, when investigators asked Barry about the cap found in the dryer, he said that he had no idea how it got into the dryer. But then he admitted he did use tranquilizer guns to illegally sedate deer to collect and sell their antlers. Okay. So investigators started looking into Suzanne's text messages in the months before her disappearance and saw that she told friends about the rocky marriage, and she texted, I would not feel safe alone with him. So, oh man. So this was from March 25th of 2020, where Suzanne said he's not going to be rational. Did something happen yesterday that brought... Oh, wait. Okay, no. The friend said he's not going to be rational. Did something happen yesterday that brought on this, or is it just the everyday normal that is building up and wearing you down? And she said, money stuff, it's sketchy. And the friend said, was he planning on going with Mallory, that's one of the daughters, or was that just a snag at getting someone on his side? And she said, I need to ask your opinion on it. He also asked me if I'm talking to anyone about our marriage, like friends. And the friend said, make sure he doesn't see your phone. You keep it with you? And she said, yes. When will he be home? Probably late. And then she said, he came home when the girls are gone. He won't speak of divorce, begging for another chance. I'm so torn, but in my heart, I know who he is. And her friend said, isn't that what he always says? How long can you keep forgiving him? That was convenient timing too. And she said, that's what I told him. He threw the 70 by 70 at me, always using scripture when it's convenient. So there's obviously lots of text and lots of evidence and things. I'm just showing you little snippets, okay, as an overview of this case, so that in case you've never heard of the case or you don't know what all this news is about, now you'll have a good overview. Okay, Barry's explanation when investigators said that they believed that he shot a tranquilizer gun in and around the house was, the first thing I thought when I came here and saw deer in my yard was big horns. And I'm like, I'm getting them horns. And I'll tell you exactly what I did. I shoot them, they go to sleep, cut their horns off. It's totally illegal, but you're going to find tranq darts around my property because I've done that. That was his explanation to this is what we think. And he said, I think he actually said that day that he saw some elk. And so, like when he left for work, I think he was saying he turned left instead of right, and he saw some elk. He just wanted to check them out, and he's always got a reason for everything, you know. So, but he might actually have a reason for everything. We don't know. We don't know. So at this point, as we know, in Suzanne's case, nobody's been arrested now since her remains have been discovered. It's like a clean slate case. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, so you can just see he does collect, he does hunt and he collects deer antlers, and he says he sells them as well. Investigators then found surveillance footage that showed Barry throwing out trash at multiple locations, I believe more than 5 locations, around Broomfield, Colorado. So that was, as the investigation went, it was like, what about this? Like, more and more things came out. And then his explanation was that he regularly dropped trash in dumpsters and accessible bins to avoid having to pay the fees to dump things at a landfill. Deb Godfrey says, fabulous work. We love you. Thank you so much, Deb. I really appreciate it. Okay. Nancy H says, I really appreciate the overview, G, because I don't know anything about this case. Yes, I'm glad. I'm glad that we can go over the whole case from the top and just see where are we at and what is this news about. Okay, so you can see some pictures from the surveillance footage. I mean, okay. Also, on May 13th of 2020, investigators took photos of Barry showing scratch marks. A year later, on May 5th of 2021, Barry Morphew was arrested and charged with Suzanne's murder, tampering with evidence, and attempting to influence a public servant. So we saw that. Okay, and then he was held without bond and he pleaded not guilty. And then Judge Murphy said, I find that the proof is not evident, nor is the presumption great that Mr. Morphew committed first-degree murder. The judge then said there would be a $500,000 cash-only bond for Barry, and then the judge recused himself. Barry was released on September 20th of 2021. Barry and Suzanne's daughter stand firmly with their dad. So Suzanne's daughter stand firmly with their dad, believing that he's innocent. In April of 2022, a new judge, Lama, ruled that prosecutors had repeatedly missed deadlines and had failed to turn over important information in the discovery phase. So it sounds like this is what I'm saying. This is a very delicate case. Oh my goodness. They have to be so careful going forward in this case so as to get justice for Suzanne Morphew. However that will look, whatever the outcome will be, because they kind of botched it, the prosecutors, this time around. Because, for example, this. Other DNA. Investigators found a partial match of DNA to an unnamed male connected to at least 3 unsolved SA cases in Chicago, Phoenix, and Tempe. Barry's legal team said that this was exculpatory evidence, including DNA on Suzanne's bike, helmet, and in the house. So they said, what about the bike? What about the helmet? What about all the, DNA that could be found in the house? That's what they meant there, not that there was this partial match of DNA on the bike, helmet, or house. They're just saying there could be. And especially with that being in her vehicle, Barry's legal team again said this was exculpatory evidence. On April 19th of 2022, a judge dismissed the case against Barry Morphew. The 11th Judicial District Attorney filed the motion to dismiss without prejudice, which is important now because they say it means the charges could be filed against Barry Morphew at a later date. So at least if, I know I'm trying to word it so carefully, people are always looking at him. If he did anything to Suzanne, he can still be held accountable. However, one has to kind of look at this as the investigation from the beginning. They've just located her remains, and now they're going to have to find corroborating evidence. They're going to have to find, how she died, how she ended up there, all of that. Yes. So that's what happened there. And so Suzanne Morphew's remains found September 22nd, 2023. The remains were identified on September 27th of 2023. And the lawyer for Barry Morphew has released a statement on the family's behalf saying, Barry's with his daughters and they are all struggling with immense shock and grief after learning that their mother and wife, whom they deeply love, was found deceased. They had faith that their wife and mom would walk back into their lives again. This news is heartbreaking. Neither the DA nor the authorities notified Mallory and Macy Morphew about the recovery of their mom. But of course, as we read in the beginning, they did say that they'd notified the family. So, I don't know. But they did here, they're saying neither the DA nor the authorities notified Mallory and Macy, so her daughters, about the recovery of their mom. If that's true, that would be a huge shock, of course, to them. Shame. Imagine them finding out on social media or something. That would be terrible. Tracy W. said, dropped the ball on the investigation. I hate to criticize, but it looks that way. It seems like it was the prosecutors. You know, that people are looking at to be like, what did they do? Why did this case get dismissed? Of course, when the case got dismissed, then Barry started suing everybody. So there was that as well. So that's an overview of this case and, you know, what just happened. Okay, now what I want to show you is, let me find that other one, this article here. So I'm just going to take us here to the beginning, in case you missed this. After 1,236 days, Suzanne Morphew's remains were located in Moffat, Colorado. I'll show you the map in a moment as well. You could share this episode with hashtag justice for Suzanne Morphew. And you can also share yellow and turquoise ribbons or hearts in the chat, because that's what they've been sharing ever since Suzanne went missing. Okay. Eddie S. said, was the bike helmet found? I wonder what type of clothes. They didn't find clothes, but they found the bike and then the helmet about a mile apart. So there's that, yes. And Charlie Chap said, any news of where Barry is? As his attorneys just said, Barry's with his daughters. Barry's with his daughters. They are all struggling with their immense shock and grief. So that's what they said there. Okay, I'm looking forward to read all your comments below after this stream. Yes, to hear what you say. I'm glad you guys are liking the overview of the case. Let me show you this quickly. Okay. So they say Suzanne Morphew case shines light on missing woman Edna Quintana in the Seward County area. Missing person's name, Edna Quintana. Last seen wearing unknown clothing. Last seen May 3rd of 2023 in the area of Seward County. So to those of you who were saying they were looking for someone else, it's Edna they were looking for, right? But then they discovered Suzanne's remains. Oh, that makes me nervous, man. What does that mean? Additional details. Edna Quintana is a 55-year-old white female who was last seen on 5/3/23. Edna was in the area of Seward County when last seen and would be on foot. Edna has medical issues and there's concern for her health and well-being at this time. Family's been unable to reach Edna and she never returned home. The news that missing Colorado mother Suzanne Morphew's remains were found in Seward County has shined a light on another missing woman. Morphew's remains were located last week and identified on Wednesday, more than 3 years after she was reported missing from the Salida area. Morphew's remains were found in the Seward County as the Colorado Bureau of Investigation was working on an unrelated case. The CBI would not elaborate on what the other case was. Family members of Edna Quintana are still searching for answers after Edna was last seen May 3rd in the area of Seward County. A statewide alert for Edna was issued on May 17th, yet she has still not been located. Skeletal remains were discovered on July 26th when a search was being conducted for Edna. Those remains belonged to a man. Oh, thank you so much, Sophia. You say, okay, so Quintana. Quintana? Quintana. Edna Quintana. Am I saying it right now? I want to get it right. Okay. And so, they said the Edna Quintana investigation is still active and ongoing, so we cannot comment. Public Information Officer Lisa Colbrenner with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation wrote to 11 News when we asked if there was any connection to the search for Edna that led them to Suzanne's remains. So you could see Edna has medical issues. Anyone with information on her location is asked to call the CBI tip line at 719-5815. Okay, so we've got that, and then Let me quickly show you this here. Show you this Maptime quickly. Haven't played the Maptime song in a while, but it's because we're always powering through these things. Sorry about that. Look, they've got, here is the address of the house. And this is the area around here where they'd searched before, which you might see some of that footage surfacing now. Which, yeah, many people think is the footage from the search now. Even I wasn't sure. I was driving around. That little Google man was driving around this Moffat area. So here's her house where Suzanne was last seen and apparently asleep. That's what Barry said. He last saw her sleeping when he left for work. And her bike and helmet were found about 10 miles from the house, I believe. And initially they'd searched around here for her. But now where they're saying that they found her remains, it is in... Oh, sorry, I'm zooming out too much. In this area called Moffat? I hope I'm saying that right. Moffat, Colorado. I mean, whoa, it's very, very remote, a very remote area. And they'd actually alluded to searching a very remote area before. So I wonder what on earth led them to that exact place, you know? Sure. Sonny said, sold the family home 2 months later. Andrew Brown said, yes, thank you so much for covering this. Us here in Colorado want justice for her. Thank you, Andrew. Your comment was actually very encouraging that you left on my community tab. So thank you so much. And yes, that must be the focus. I know everybody wants to know who done it, what did they do, but the focus must be how, like, I hope they get justice for Suzanne Morphew. That's what it's about. That whoever needs to be held accountable will be held accountable, and that it will be done right. Which, I don't know, I'm grateful it didn't go to trial, because it sounds like then the prosecution, there was a high chance of them not winning the case, right? Okay, so this is the area that they're talking about where they keep saying Moffat. So if I just look at it like this, wait, it's not a very big area. So let's just say Moffat like this. Just like that, please. Okay, hold on. Hold on 1 second, please. I just really want to get this so I can show you. Okay, let's go to Moffat, Colorado. Should show it like that, yeah. It's just, this is the area. It's not a very big area, you know? So very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you, Roxy. You said my pronunciation is better. Is it? Is it good? Is it good? Okay, so we've looked at that. I just want to see if there's anything else I wanted to show you. We could be all day really. There's so many things to look at. I hope you got a good overview of the case. They've also got Bodycam and things that I can link for you. Even this. Raw body camera footage shows first moments after Suzanne Morphew was reported missing. So I'll show you this quickly as well. Just so you could see like her bike and everything. Shame. Okay, so let's play this.
Call the husband, see what kind of bike she has. Somebody Chaffee, buddy. Can you try to call the husband and see what type of bike she has? Right now I'm staring at a Santa Cruz blue in color.
We'll do 9:35.
That's true, Ramona. Multiple bodies were discovered when searching for Gabby Petito. That's true as well.
Yeah, because the rim's not going to... I'm just looking at the rim. Not bent. on it. There's one crying, Kev.
That's a big warning.
I guess maybe be careful where you touch it too. Just stay on there. Or not to touch it too much in case like someone should be fell. So you know what it is? Yeah. Something's up with this front.
It must be so scary, for family to find out, wait, what? Like, imagine her daughter's being like, her bicycle was just found like that? Lizzie B, 42,000. Thank you so much for your sticker. Really appreciate it. Yeah, everyone's saying no gloves. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the defense is counting on that,
Said something's up with this front tire.
Lieutenant Peter Pronzo says mishandling of evidence. Harlem Raiders. Susan says in Colorado you cannot be charged for the same crime twice. This may be why the prosecutor decided to let it go the first time in 2020. I mean, yes, it could be. I'm going to link this for you because it's actually the entire body cam. It's quite long. Of the first moments after Suzanne Morphew was reported missing. Okay, I want to make this as concise as possible for everyone who's never heard of the case. I just want to show you snippets, important things, and then I'm going to link it all for you, okay? Also, let me show you this one. This is also drone footage of the house, in case you've never seen it either. Kelly says, why did they move it? Ooh, yeah. KG Constrictor says, contamination of crime scene, that's a Colorado thing. Oh, man. That's not a good thing. I don't know if that's a Colorado thing. I just think it's unfortunate in this case, right? That happened. Yes, they moved the bike. Let me just quickly... Someone was saying in chat as well that it was south of Moffat. I mean, on all the mainstream media they're reporting. Of course, they don't want to say the exact location where Suzanne's remains were discovered. I just want to see exactly... It is 49 miles south from their home, where about it could be a few more, right, if it's south of Moffat, but about 50 miles, about less than an hour drive from the house. So I will link this for you as well if you've never seen all of this, because they literally went around the whole house. So imagine if Barry really was running around this house shooting at chipmunks. Chipmunks. Have you ever heard so many strange words in one case where they're like spy pen, tranquilizer gun, chipmunks, and then like 5 different dump sites, like like trash being, put in 5 different places, and there's a lot to take in with this case, right? And I mean, if you ever have read through the whole probable cause affidavit that was previously written up, whoa. There's a lot of things in there. A lot of text messages and photos and things. It's just like, it's a lot. Yes. Gaynor said, someone said that Barry also touched the bike when he arrived to where they found the bike and was told off for doing so. Yeah. Well, everyone, I think I'm going to call it a day for now with what we just read through, because it's a lot of information to take in. I hope I did a good job at just an overview of the case, of what is this case even about, especially for people who've never heard about this case before. So now you at least, a little bit. There's obviously a lot to it. Remember that this is about justice for Suzanne Morphew. I mean, I'm so relieved, even though I know it's so devastating for a family to be like, wait, what? She's no longer alive? Imagine no answers. Like, no answers is the worst, right? So after more than 3 years, 1,236 days, they finally were able to locate Suzanne Morphew's remains. I mean, that is an excellent job on the investigators' part, right? That is amazing that they actually found her remains. I know they said they were busy with another investigation, but I wonder what that was. It could be so many things. It could be so many things. So please, in the comments or on social media, continue to share Suzanne's pictures. Continue to share yellow and turquoise ribbons. You can also share hashtag justice for Suzanne Morphew. And I really hope at some point we will hear of an arrest for who they believe the suspect or suspects are in this case, and that there will be a trial as well, that we could see justice for Suzanne Morphew. Because at this point, we have no idea what happened to her. There's, of course, speculation, even from the investigators, that did Suzanne even really go for a bike ride that day at all? You know, because the last proof of life photo was from May 9th of 2020, not May 10th. No one heard from her on May 10th. It's Barry that said that he saw her sleeping on May 10th when he left for work. So we got that. Linda says, Grizzly to Crime, fabulous coverage. Thank you, G, mods, and fellow Grizzlies. Suzanne Morphew, thank you for sharing that so much. Thank you, mods, for everything you do. If you guys missed my earlier stream, please go check that out as well, because there were 2 today. I think there were 2 yesterday as well. We've been busy, and we're still waiting for the verdict for Gareth Pursehouse. I'll go check again now if there's anything that's come in, but we're still waiting. And then, of course, Trezell and Jacqueline West were also sentenced today. And the district attorney had a press conference, so there's just always so much to do. There's so many cases. It's, as someone said in the earlier chat, it's raining arrests at the moment. Not in this case, but in many cases, there's a lot of, the wheels of justice are turning, you know. So that's always good to see as well, with lots of cases that we follow. So if you're brand new here, I hope that now in this outro, you'll consider, instead of just lurking, which means you're just watching with us, subscribe. It's free. If you subscribe, you are one of us. You're a Grizzly. You do not have to become a member to be a Grizzly. You are one. If you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on the next live stream or YouTube short community post, whatever it is that I'm updating you on. I've always got lots of content that I make for you. I do this with my whole heart, and I love being here with you guys. And I love learning from all these cases as well, and discussing them and helping fight for justice for these victims. So thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you all again very soon, okay? Unsolved cases, you said, so sorry to hear about Rotterdam. Yeah, I heard about that today. You don't hear of crimes that often like that in the Netherlands, which you guys might know as Holland. So yeah, I saw that. There are sometimes stabbings or things that happen in Amsterdam or Rotterdam. Crime is picked up in Rotterdam. I live quite far from there, but I really live in like a a retirement village. I really do. I'm surrounded by grannies, okay? They're very cute. So, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all again very soon. If there's anything more to discuss in this case, any more updates, I will keep you posted. I've made a playlist for this case as well, so we can continue the conversation from here. Kind of glad that we're starting on a bit of a clean slate. Let's see where this case goes now that they've actually found her remains. Bye, everyone. Stay safe.